As long as we're dunking. Hell yeah, we're dunking. And we're drinking. I'm not gonna drink this right now. I have to stay on my toes just in case Jeremy throws a freaking curveball at me. We gotta stay agile. We gotta stay swift. We can't allow him to get the upper hand because he'll play defense for the boys, trying to give the underhand. Who is the quivering? Jeremy of TheQuartering. Here, let me play you a little introduction for Jeremy.
My wife went out for pizza without me, and I'm angry about it. So I'm gonna win this round, and I'm gonna pee. If I don't win this round, I'm gonna pee in my own basement. Get up! No!
His wife is a pilot? Oh, okay. So he just that lady just wants to spend as much as time possible away from him. Okay, I see.
No, not in the kitty litter. Just in the drain. In the drain.
Rip's ass, I forgot.
I just peed in my basement.
So, and that's your introduction for TheQuartering, okay? Man-child, he spends his time complaining about SJWs, women doing things that he doesn't like, people saying that Hitler is bad, and you know, general things from normal gamers, just typical normal gamer stuff. So, I like to not talk about TheQuartering too often. I like to not talk about Jeremy. He's kind of a fucking loser. This time, I think it's just so stupid, so egregious, that I thought it'd be time to talk about it. So, let me fill you guys in. If you guys remember the bombshell story of the lawsuit against Activision Blizzard for its awful treatment towards women and people in their workplace, the Cosby Room, the worker that took their life on the business trip, other treatment towards women, and the generally misogynistic dude bro stupid culture that was a part of the business that has gone on for too long, and a lot of the people who are alleged abusers still being a part of the management team at Blizzard and HR doing basically nothing. So that story dropped. We all covered it, and everyone was just about unanimously against what happened, and was on the women's side, the ones that came out about the abuse that they experienced at the hands of the people working on behalf of Blizzard. This is where we start with our intrepid dipshit, Jeremy. So Jeremy decided, obviously, to hop onto this with his normal skepticism. Maybe we just shouldn't listen to the women because women lie. After this lawsuit came out, and after it went through its entire process of going through the community, the cultural zeitgeist, all of those sorts of things, everyone's giving their take, a lot of Activision Blizzard employees decided to hold a strike, a walkout, actually, at 10 last Thursday. And here you can see the banner for the walkout here. It's ActiBlizz walkout was the hashtag. They say don't log into Warcraft, don't log into Overwatch, Hearthstone, Call of Duty, Diablo, and other Blizzard games. Don't do it. Don't look at it. Don't touch it. All right? Because they're going to do a walkout, and the walkout was something that actually happened. There are lots of people a part of Blizzard and lots of people who weren't a part of Blizzard who decided to do the walkout from 10 to 2, pushing for better workers' rights, better representation, better HR, all of these things. They walked out and they showed the business what's what. And even some of them are planning to start a union, which is honestly super pog. And they took a picture. This one person in here is probably black. Maybe. I see a guy here and I see a woman here. Incredible things going on here. Incredible things. But before this happened, our good friend Jeremy decided to chime in on this. And so he took the classic route that all dipshits like him take, which is, oh, assaulting women? That's bad, I guess. But saying that we need to be nicer to women specifically? Now that's where you lose me. Let's hear what Jeremy has to say about this walkout and the poster that we just looked at. Just so you know, he says the walkout itself was doomed to fail, and he's going to explain why.
Exactly why. We see this. the statement of intent. This has now gone in just a few minutes to something we can all agree on. Hey, everyone that works at Blizzard has been subjected to a toxic work environment. Let's all band together to hold Activision and Blizzard accountable. To now, you get stuff like this. In order to improve conditions for employees at the company, especially women, and particularly women of color, and trans women, and non-binary people, and other marginalized groups. So imagine you work for Blizzard, and you're part of the 96% of employees that are not a woman of color who's also trans and non-binary. You're talking about 50 employees at Blizzard that might fit in this group. What just happened to your support for this? Are you going to lay your job on the line for a group that now openly no longer says it represents you? There are absolutely cis females and cis males, straight males and straight females that were affected by this behavior, but now it's been co-opted. Now they're asking for stuff, empower a company-wide diversity, equity. By the way, equity is a BS buzzword.
Here, we'll touch on that. We'll touch on that in a second. Yeah, question marks is all that you can say to this. I just don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm genuinely curious. I've been thinking for a moment, ever since I saw this clip, what could possibly be going on. And I think he's either drunk in this segment, or he's expressing that he doesn't have a fifth grader's level of reading comprehension. And honestly, at this point, it could be either, and it literally could be both at the same time. So if we can read this part one more time. As current Activision Blizzard employees, we're holding a walkout to call on the executive leadership team to work with us on the following demands in order to improve conditions for employees at the company. So if we can take this for a moment, it says employees at the company. All right. If you are an employee, no matter what your identity is, you are an employee. All right. Here's the first part. The literally first thing that they mention are employees at large. Okay. And so then what they did is after that, here's a comma. There's a comma here. It's incredible. Yet maybe he's never seen one of these before because he doesn't fucking write. Then he said, especially women. Now, if for anyone who decided to actually read what happened in the lawsuit, most of the people who experienced the worst possible ramifications of that toxic work environment that he's talking about were, chat, do it here. Who were they? Who are the people who got it the worst at Blizzard? Okay. Who was it? Who got it the worst? We're doing a Dora the Explorer. All right. I want you to lend me your ears. Woman, this is, oh my gosh. Oh my, the whams, women. You're right. You're right. It's women. I'm so happy. You did it. You guys are so freaking smart. You all deserve a gold star and a cookie and back scratchies. Cause you're smarter than Jeremy. You're smarter than Jeremy. So women did get it the worst. I'm sorry. It wasn't a guy who took their life on that business trip. It wasn't guys who were like stalked on when it came to their cube crawls. That's not what happened. Now, were there guys who experienced ramifications of the culture at Blizzard? Absolutely. And those people need to be heard. And that's why they put employees at large at the beginning. Employees at the company, comma, especially women, comma, particularly women of color, comma, trans women, comma, NB people, and other marginalized people. Those people experience bad things at that company too, but those people got it the worst. I think one guy mentioned being harassed. Yes, that's why he was included in employees. And his experience is no less valuable than anybody else's experience. The thing is just most of the women experience this and a far less amount of the guys experienced it because a far more amount of the guys were either ambivalent to it or actively engaging in the harm. Yeah, maybe he just didn't spend any time thinking about this because he was too busy beating his dick to children's cartoons. I honestly can't tell. Oh yeah, that's another part of quartering lore. If you don't know, maybe we can talk about that a little bit later, or maybe I'll just let that hang. You know what? Maybe I'll just let that hang. You guys can think about what that means yourselves, and you can be lucky that you don't know what that means. Let's for a moment imagine that the quartering was right. Okay, for a moment, let's just imagine where only women were hurt. Only women, only trans people, only marginalized groups were hurt with the culture at Blizzard. And literally zero cis women, literally zero trans men, cis men, literally zero anybody else, only those marginalized groups that they mentioned, okay? Only those people, okay? Only them. Would you not care anymore? Would you not give a shit about that walkout if you weren't included in it? Would that be something that you just would not give a shit about? That's a genuine question. From the way that he's making this assertion, it seems like he would just not give a shit. He'd be like, oh, you guys care about women only? What? Yikes. Ew. Honestly, ew. I think I'd rather stay home. Actually, I'm putting on another cube crawl when you guys get back. Get ready to start crawling, boys. Hey, get the coke in the war zone out, boys. We're partying. I'm genuinely curious. Would you not care? Is that still not something that's important to you? You still wouldn't be there to help support your other coworkers? I think that's kind of gross to be something that you actively are just like, ew, yikes, no, I'm not good. When it doesn't pertain to you specifically.
Asking for stuff, empower a company-wide diversity, equity. By the way, equity is a BS buzzword, and equity itself isn't, but it's what they're using to define our version of equality. That's what equity means.
That's not your version of equality, no. Equity is a really important thing. It's like equality of opportunity, which is important. Like everybody having the opportunity to get to the same space. So the fact that women were the people who were fired more for infractions, and women were the people who were hired less and they were promoted less, that equality, having the opportunity, that equity of having the opportunity to be able to get the same amount of raises and the same amount of money for the same amount of work that their male coworkers did. That's what equity is. That's not what you guys want. Actually, already your version of equality would already be there in Blizzard, because I mean they technically have the ability to apply for a management position. They just probably won't get it because the equity isn't there.
Social justice equality. It doesn't mean fair treatment for all. It means special treatment for some, in particular the ones that have the right checkboxes. And they want an inclusion task force and to hire a third party to audit ABKs, that's Activision Blizzard's, and King's reporting structure, HR department, executive staff. It's imperative to identify. This is only going to make it worse now for Blizzard.
How? Did you guys listen to the last thing he said? A company-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion force by a third party to audit the HR department, the executive staff, and the reporting structure. Just so you know, everybody benefits from that. It helps everybody. It hurts nobody. It's good for the economy. That hurts nobody. Every single one of those dudes, of those cis women or whatever that you would like to claim in there that wasn't a part of this thing, that obviously were, through like basic third grade reading skills, you'd be able to figure that out. Those people would still be able to benefit from all of those things. A better HR department isn't just better for the disabled, trans, gay, non-binary worker, okay? It's for everyone. Everybody gets a better HR. Everybody gets better hiring practices. Everybody gets a better reporting system. This is all good. Everybody gets better employee harassment accountability system. Everyone gets that. But apparently he's just now against it because they said especially women. He just wants to throw everything away and call everything SJW because they acknowledge that women were the ones who got the brunt of the damage when they came to this. It's just stupid and gross.
Here's the poster you see. Activision Blizzard, walkout for equality, July 28th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Great. Okay, I'm in. Do not cross the virtual picket line. Avoid logging into anything Activision Blizzard. World of Warcraft with you. I'm ready to share this image. How can I help? Oh, donate to Black Girls Code, which is a company that directly smeared me online and was forced to delete their slanderous statements about me. Futures.
I don't even know what he's talking about here. I've seen some Black Girls Code and they're pretty cool. They help girls code. I know girls who code. I've had personal He's mad. Yeah, he's always mad with people who don't like him. Girls Who Code is something that I actually have personal experience with. When I was in IT and I was in the early college and career program, we actually had a section for Girls Who Code. Right next door to our IT department. And it was pretty cool. I went in there every once in a while. There were women in there, there were girls, and they were coding. Incredible. I'm a girl who codes. Incredible. Woman is here. Woman codes. Wild shit. Yeah, they were nice in there. They gave me they gave me some Jewish food. They gave me some Jew food. It was I don't know what it was, but it was like white, and I think it had like fruit in it. And it was kind of creamy, and I didn't like it that much, but I ate it anyways because they gave it to me. And I just walked in. I was like, "Hey, how you guys doing in there?" And they're like, "Hey, what's going on? We're women and we're coding." I'm like, "Damn, that's kind of boss girls status, you know?" And then I left. Cool. They seem pretty cool. They seem pretty fun. I can't spell. Don't worry, I know. But there's nothing wrong with donating to any of these things. Once again, women had the main brunt of the damage, so women get a little bit of special treatment when it comes to this. Jeremy just wants to be oppressed. He just really wants to be oppressed. He wants to be oppressed so bad. He's just so upset that when it comes to acknowledging that women got fucked on here, especially. They got fucked on, especially. Guys got fucked on, women got fucked on, especially. That's why they wrote it that way. Maybe you just can't read.
You have Girls Who Code, women in animation, women in games international. Why?
Just what the fuck has happened? Women in gaming, women coding, women gaming and international, women animating? Fucking yikes. Ew. Ew. He looks like he's going to vomit.
Hi. You're supposed to be fighting for employee rights inside your company, and now you're turning this into some BS social justice stuff.
It's just everything I don't like is social justice warriors. Everything I don't like is virtue signaling. It's really interesting. Anytime someone does something to advance like societal acceptance and care for marginalized groups and women, they'll always call it SJW. They'll always call it virtue signaling. You say like and this will actually happen if you go into TheQuartering's like under any of his tweets, and if you say Hitler is bad, he'll quote tweet you and say, "Yikes, disgusting, ew." He'll do it. He had a whole arc where he would just like search the name Hitler, and anytime anyone ever said Hitler is bad, he would quote tweet them and be like, "Oh, I can't believe you would say something like this." And then people would be like, "Oh, you're kind of a fucking freak, dude. What's wrong with you?" He'd be like, "We all know Hitler's bad, guys. What I mean to say is that actually you don't need to say it because we all know it." Then why don't you say it? Anytime you express any like actual genuine belief in anything that they don't hold, they want to call it virtue signaling because it deflects from them having to think about how they actually have worse politics than you. So they just shut their brain off. Nothing bad happened here, and the walkout happened perfectly fine because everyone else is Hitler bad still a hot take for Jeremy? The queefening? Yes. Quarter Pounder, it is a hot take for you to say that Adolf Hitler is bad. This is true. Sorry. People go online and say Hitler's bad. Quartering be like, "You got a source for that?" Listen, lots of people got it really bad at Blizzard. All right, they got it really bad. This is actually a story that came out of Blizzard. Activision IT workers secretly filmed colleagues in the office bathroom. All right, we can just kind of let that sit for a moment, okay? Let me just we do a quick moment of silence. Yeah, what he deserves. He deserved to go to jail. He got a suspended prison sentence. I'm not sure where he is now. He violated his parole, so they may have just thrown his ass in jail anyways. But the type of environment that these people were subject to is honestly disgusting. Now, that was in a unisex bathroom specifically, but there are more things that happen to specifically women that should not be unnoticed and that should be taken with extreme caution, especially with the state that women are in this country when it comes to the assault and harassment that they are the victims of far too often. But this isn't the end. It's still not over, guys. It keeps going. Activision still wants to be worse. They want to take that spot from EA. You know how EA gets rated the worst gaming company year after year after year? They want to take that spot, okay? Activision, they're looking for it. It's a race to the bottom, and oh my gosh, they just put on fucking hyper boots. They just put on their hyper boosters, and they're just going straight down into the center of the earth. Because as those employees are coming together to stop HR from not looking into camera under the toilet to watch me shoot out my diarrhea Hershey squirts while he takes them home and jerks off to it. They don't stop him for a little while. And while they completely disregard all of the accusations that not only the state of California, but the court and their lawyers had to say about the treatment in their workplace. Also, they want to make sure that not only that employees don't even get the ability to come together for an actual union or work together to actually stop Blizzard from ruining their lives, because now instead of working with their employees, they hire a union busting firm to help break up and disseminate misinformation about the company, their review, and their and stop any employee organizing to make sure that they don't get any recompense for what they've done. It's actually incredible. So now they hire a union busting firm, and that union busting firm is going to be doing the audit into the HR. Yeah, very, very nice. I bet they're going to do a really good job. I bet they went to this one specifically for their great track record in employee rights. I can only imagine. So thank you, Quartering, for your dog shit take on everything that comes out of your mouth. Stop defending such an awful company and stop working against the people working to make their company better for them and their employees, all of their employees, especially women, trans women, non-binary people, and marginalized groups. But all employees deserve a better work environment, and all employees deserve to work in a workplace that dignifies them, that respects them, and takes care of their needs. All of them. And no matter how much Quartering is going to say that they don't, you absolutely do.